Well, it's 6 after 6. You're still live on the Joy News channel. It's the AM show. You're welcome. But of course, it's now time for the news. And in the news, the opposition New Patriotic Party is asking President Mahama to proffer new alternatives to combat illegal mining. Here's Jacqueline and Somoya report after the NPP visited the Kwanyaku treatment plant, which has become unwholesome due to activities of illegal miners.
Standing at the banks of the Anyensu River in Kwanyaku, the water now runs a thick brown. A few minutes walk into town, residents are struggling to cope. From boreholes and wells that produce visibly dirty water to food vendors lamenting the impact on their trade. The once dependable river has become a burden instead of a blessing. One visibly shaking elderly resident told Joy News,
I am Papa. I am Papa. Because of this, I am soon.
It's moye day. Mahuse moye day diane mujari.
There was your office, you ban. There's no honor. Samson is a easy. I said, why that also? The whole central. One of Samson. I am penning from one Papa Yankee.
We once drank this water, but today we cannot even bathe with it. We vote for leaders, yet they do not act in our best interest.
You could go down on both sides. Everything we have. Hey, look. Well, what is Robin?
Another resident, preparing to bathe with water from a well, explained she has no choice but to boil and treat the brownish water with alum before use.
So yeah, and yes, I and so we are yesterday bibia, even though yanum. But you see, the Mwabim, too soon to see the end yet. Yes, Rabbi on Shamayang, no so no. More Munja was single, I'm still for a more sense. And
soon I won't know one.
Ebula, Tibula and a chronic color name. Bula, my sister, yes, sir. You see, so Yamiadum, and Mampokwa Bedomian, Boho too. You are high, yes, sir. You do already be
So that is it over there. You can take a closer look. That is so she's going to bath. She has to boil it before. Yes. That is from the borehole. She has to boil it before. So every day you have to boil it before.
Yes.
Say, in Suno Efra, is it going to be clean? A be clean kakra.
Along a gum before and Sana Makudari.
Oh, okay. It's after boiling, no, the alum nigum na kala nini take kakra.
After boiling the water, I add alum just to make it a bit clearer. Amidst the community's frustration, politicians have also waded into the debate. Director of Communications for Dr. Baumia's campaign, Dennis Miracles Abwaje, speaking at the Kwanyaku treatment plant, called on the government to propose fresh solutions to the Galamsey menace.
And simply telling the Galamseyers that if they manage to get the gold, whether through foul or fair means, he is ready to buy them.
Away from Kwanyaku, former President John Kufuor is urging members of his party, the New Patriotic Party, to stay united, work diligently and avoid internal conflict as it prepares to elect its flag bearer in January 2026. Speaking at the commissioning of a new party office in Bantama in the Ashanti region, Mr. Kufuor admonished candidates to avoid hate speeches and keep their supporters in check for a peaceful election. Emmanuel Bright-Quaker reports.
The commissioning of the new Bantama office assembled senior party officials, constituency executives, traditional leaders, and members of the NPP loyal ladies. The Bantama constituency office has been described as a symbol of unity, grassroots empowerment, and dedication to effective party organization. Speaking at the event, ex-president John Kufuor reminded the party of staying united to clinch the ultimate power in the next elections. We should learn to avoid insults. Even the aspirants aren't the ones throwing the insults, but their followers. Notwithstanding, some of them could be behind the insults. As the party prepares for the election of its flag bearer in 2026, General Secretary Justin Kudu-Afrempong stressed that the party must learn from its past mistakes and correct them before the next polls.
There were 2 years, 11 months to campaign for 2028 election. Can you see that?
The contention are as a result of the upcoming flag bearer race. After that election, we will have the party elders unite all of us to win power in 2028.
There were 2 former presidents and more committee assassins, and there were 1 by so many parties.
Bantama MP Francis Asenso-Boakye says the new office is an expression of his utmost gratitude to the constituents and party delegates for voting him into office. The delegates have shown me enormous support when I started my journey. They have given me enough votes to ensure I stay in power. This is my appreciation to you.
Almost close to 80%.
Now, still on the NPP, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin has condemned the high level of corruption amongst political leaders and the youth. According to him, the menace has led to growing insincerity amongst Ghanaians, reason a number of people who benefited from government financing programs refused to pay back, leading to the collapse of numerous government initiatives. He spoke at the Youth Common Forum in Winneba. James Aveji has more.
The Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin has been back to his constituency here in the Central Region for the second edition of the Youth Common Platform, the first which happened at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, where he focused in Accra on Galamsey issues as well as other key social issues. Speaking to a number of youth and constituents here in Winneba, has been touching on a number of social issues, including corruption, accountability, which in his view the youth and political leaders must pay attention to as far as governance and development is concerned.
My dear youths, when you get any support for your entrepreneurial prowess and you abuse it, bear in mind that you are denying the next generation an opportunity. Rawlings introduced the poverty alleviation program, where many traders in the informal sector got some financial support. They did not pay back. Kufuor came and continued. He introduced Maslow. If we go into the data and we ask how many people under Kufuor's government paid back the Maslow loan, perhaps we will not even get 5%. Akufo-Addo introduced the NEIP as well as continuation of the Maslow. People benefited, they didn't pay. And MPP, NDC has come back into office again. Maslow is there. And many of the youth are calling on the government to support them with facilities to do their business. Must we continue that path? No.
He also used the opportunity to urge the current NDC government to walk the talk in a fight against Galamsey.
Today, our country stands at a crossroad. Galamsey is getting out of hand. The greed of few who believe they have to destroy our environment to make ends meet is going unchecked. We only perhaps make an effort but unable to nib it in the bud. We must all collectively talk about it, else there will be no country for us.
He's hopeful that the youth will learn from the political leaders as well as captains of industry in order to also forge their future to address issues of unemployment. From Winneba here in the Central Region, I am James Savage for Joy News.
Now, Molex Foundation Africa, a STEM-focused organization, is intensifying its mission of training young girls to pursue careers in STEM fields. Now, the foundation intends to increase the number of participants in the Sheroes in STEM bootcamp from 60 to 200. Making the announcement at the closing ceremony of Cohort 2 of the bootcamp, the CEO of Molex Foundation Africa, Dr. Patrick Essien, noted that for the next edition of the bootcamp, which will see an increase in participants, the target trainees will be girls from northern Ghana. Abigail Nkrumah Asel has more in this report.
60 young ladies were trained in robotics during the Sheroes in STEM Cohort 2 bootcamp. The bootcamp, which was on a theme breaking barriers to access higher education, was powered by Molex Foundation Africa, a foundation empowering young African girls to overcome barriers and accomplish excellence in STEM fields. Speaking at the closing ceremony held in Accra, the CEO of Molex Foundation Africa, Dr. Patrick Essien, revealed plans of increasing the number of participants in the next edition of the bootcamp, this time targeting girls in northern Ghana.
Molex Foundation is poised that this program will not end here. Last year, we hosted the girls around Central Region and the Western Region. This year, we decided to extend our tentacles. So we reach out as far as Northern Region. So we have 3 people from Northern Region. Next year, we are not hitting the southern sector again, but we are going straight to the north. And we've been hosting only 60 girls. But next year, we are targeting that we will host 200 girls in the north. When we pass through the beautiful roads of Accra, we see most of our Kayayo girls coming from the north. We can't just talk about it. If you want to stop this, it begins from somewhere. Let's try to motivate these young girls. Let's try to give them skills.
The Member of Parliament for Talensi, Daniel Dang Mahama, urged parents to prioritize the education of their female children.
I also encourage all parents that we should give a very good opportunity to our young ladies. How can we give this opportunity to our young ladies? We need to train our young girls, not only for kitchen like those days that they used to say. We need to give them the opportunity in education. The same opportunity that we give it to the boys, we should give it to our young ladies to inspire, and then they'll work well. So this opportunity given to them and all the children who learn, students who are studying science, they should take it so seriously that future generation will also inspire on that.
Rebecca Shari, the Director for Human Resource and Administration of GIFEG at the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, lauded the participants and promised support for the foundation.
GIFEG is ready to support the Molex Foundation in any way we can to amplify their initiatives. We will make a positive impact on the community, foster innovation, and contribute to the development of talents, women in STEM. To Molex Foundation Africa, we commend your visionary initiative and reaffirm our commitment to walk this journey with you.
The closing ceremony also saw the remembrance of some fallen contributors to the Sheroes in STEM initiative. For Joy News, Abigail Nkrumah reports.
Now, a Supreme Court Judge, Justice Jamepe, has urged the populace, especially the young, to develop an interest in reading the law irrespective of their profession. He explained that if not for practice, reading the law would help people understand their basic rights as enshrined in the Constitution, which would enhance democracy. He was speaking at a ceremony to mark the 50th anniversary completion of the Hohoi Evangelical Presbyterian Senior High School.
60 young ladies were trained in robotics during the It
was a nostalgic moment for Justice Sena Jamepe and his mates when they visited their alma mater that shaped them. They departed from the Hohoi Evangelical Presbyterian Senior High School in 1975 with some never setting foot in their alma mater. A member of the 1975 batch, Richard Agbeko Atipu, said the visit was to symbolize the beginning of a friendship between his badge and the school.
First, to celebrate our 50th year of graduation, and then secondly, to showcase Justice Afenyo Markin to the school, or more or less to the students. To, like my Lord said, we want, this is the beginning of the friendship between our group, 75 group, and HEPS now, from now on.
The headmaster, Franklin Amesimeku, laid some appeals before the 1975 batch, hoping they would be provided to augment academic activities.
We ask that the school is old, it's about 64 years old. We do not have a functional bus, so we put it before the year to assist the school to get a bus. We also inform them that the school does not have any assembly hall or dining hall complex. So this also we put before them. And lastly, we ask that they support the school with a staff bungalow.
Justice Sena Jamepe, in response, announced the commencement of a science block and library projects for the school.
The chairman of the Get Fund has asked me, the board chairman has asked me to officially announce to you that your science block will be awarded on contract. And you don't need to be a lawyer to know your rights. Every human being must know his or her rights. The lecturers, students, if you don't know your rights, people will cheat you. Law is something you cannot avoid in your life. That's why somebody will say, well, your clothes, you don't know what to do. Somebody's class, you don't know what to do. I'm totally somebody's taking your hand. You need to know your rights. So please, I want to develop the interest in law.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Hohoi.
Well, let's do business now. And the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana has attributed the low sales and taxes from the retail sector to the consistent increases in utility tariffs by the PURC. The business group argues due to the imposition of high tariffs, most businesses do not produce enough, thereby affecting their profit margins. Their concern follows a report from the Bank of Ghana. The taxes from retail sales in the country have not improved since the beginning of this year. Speaking to Joy Business, chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana urged government to consider reviewing the tariffs for local businesses.
The tariff hikes by the PURC was going to affect businesses or exacerbate the situation of Ghanaian businesses because sales in the market had dropped by as much as 70%. And I'm so happy that the Bank of Ghana has also come now to confirm that indeed my statement is right, because it appears that everything is at a standstill in the market. And this is for the food and beverages sector. And we all know that the food is a necessity. So if you go into the market and you open your restaurant, you open your hotel, you display bags of rice, sugar, drinks, and all that. And at the end of the day, nothing is sold. And this is food, a necessity. People must eat in order to live. So if this is really the situation, then my question is, what is happening to the non-food sector?
And the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, Ben Boache, has called for a diversified funding approach, including the use of pension funds to finance energy sector projects. Despite ongoing government negotiations with independent power producers over unpaid debt, cost of electricity remain high due to systemic inefficiencies and challenges with power purchase agreement. Now, Mr. Boache explained the cheaper electricity can be achieved through innovative financing models, particularly a mix of public-private partnerships and alternative funding sources, such as pension funds channeled through infrastructure bonds. He made these remarks at an energy conference.
The proposal that we've had on the table is for us to clean up that space, to make sure that utilities can act right and be able to generate the needed revenues to cater for the value chain, so that we stop the accumulation of debt in the sector. If you don't do that, then you are not incentivizing other business people to also invest. You are not incentivizing the capital market to do the investments that are required. We also looked at the cost of capital, which of course is linked to some of the risks that we've talked about. But again, we still really need to look at cost of financing in our continent to see how we bring it down. The suggestion has been for us to do a blended financing that clearly optimizes and shares the risk for investors to have tailored projects that they can actually put their money into. So clearly, there is opportunity for growth. There's opportunity to elevate our people out of poverty by giving them energy, but that energy has to be affordable. And the way to deal with that is make sure that there's transparency around contracting, and also we're capitalizing on emerging technologies such as solar, to extend electricity to the poorer of the poor.
When you say blending financing, what exactly do you mean by this, and how can we pull this together?
So there are various schemes. We have multilaterals, we have local banks, we have pension funds that are all doing financing. How do we bring them together to actually look at how we share risk and be able to develop projects on time, for the people to benefit?
Well, to wrap up the business segment, let's check out the prices of some goods on our commodity market. Right after, we'll bring you sports update right here on the AM show. I'm Noella Karanyali. Stay tuned in.